Right, so I'm going to be making a pretty simple stone wall with a few brushes and ZModeler. So I'm going to start out with a polysphere. This is just some stuff I've been learning. It's nothing that great yet, but it's a good start, I'd say. So let me drag this out. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to want to go into geometry and bring this down to its lowest subdivision level and reconstruct. And this will make it into more of a cube. And then in order to get this cube into more of a wall, we're going to want to bring these edges in, obviously. So we can actually go to ZModeler, and if we hold space, we can hit scale, and then we can just, well, actually, it's going to yell at me. I have to freeze this level. But now we can drag this in. I got that for the wall. That seems good. So then you can just click on this to have it scaled to the same spot as you did before. So then here we have our basic wall mesh. And for some reason I haven't really figured this out yet, but for some reason you can't actually, well, I know why this is, but you can't actually sculpt on this. I mean, you can, but there's such few polygons. There's only 8 points, so we can't really do much with it since it was just a basic cube, so there's not a lot of polygons on it. So in order to actually sculpt on it and make anything useful, I found out that it was helpful to go to subtool and then remesh. And I don't know the technicalities of this, but essentially it just remeshes the mesh, and you can set its resolution and everything. So for how detailed you want, I'm just going to stay with 128. So I can remesh it now. So, and then I can delete this basic 8.1. So then now I can sculpt on it, and then I can hit Control D, make it a bit more detailed. There we go. So then we can apply a pretty basic material. Sure. And I actually found this very helpful brush that lets me paint like a stone wall texture onto things. So, oh, that's another cool thing, is all the brushes you see here aren't actually all the brushes that ZBrush comes with. You can go into Lightbox and go to Brush, and then there's a bunch of different brushes here. But the one I was looking for is in Patterns, I think, Stone Wall. There we go. So now I can set this to a pretty big draw size, and this is just going to be the background texture. So I don't necessarily need a lot of bumpiness to it. So I can lower the Z intensity a bit, make it not pop out as much. That should work. We can do the same to the back side. And then to the sides. And this is still probably very unorthodox, what I'm doing, but It's a good learning step, I'd say. So then, after we have our basic texture kind of laid out, we can actually make the bricks on the wall. And there's probably a few different ways to do this, but one way I found useful is something called extraction. So you haven't played with masks much before, probably, but if you hold Control, you can mask out an area. Say I want to draw a mask here, and then you can just do things within that mask. For a basic definition, so if I hold Control, I actually want to set this to a mask lasso, or mask pen and lasso, so then I can make my own mask. So this lets me draw the bricks onto the wall. It's actually going through two sides right now, which isn't what we want because we don't want the same bricks on both sides of the wall. So one thing that we can do to hide the other side, to hide the other geometry, is we can hold Control Shift. No. Yes. Control Shift. And we can select this side. Oh dear. Oh, okay. Yes, Control Shift, we can select this side and hit Alt. There we go. So then that'll hide that side. So now we can go back and draw our little makeshift bricks. Let's draw our little crappy bricks. Not really supposed to be that great yet. So you just hold Control, and then you can draw your masks. And these will be the little bricks that pop out for more resolution. But they're, it's not anything too great. It's just probably aren't what bricks actually would look like, but whatever. Okay, now we have our very basic brick layout here. Add some more to the top, actually. To the side. Whatever. Okay, there we go. So now we have these masks laid out. You can just keep on drawing more and more masks with Control. And then you can go into Subtool, Extract, and you can change the smoothness, which is, I believe, is just like how many polygons will actually emerge out of it. And the thickness, obviously, is the thickness of how far it pops out. And then we can go to Extract and Accept. that'll put it into a new subtool. And then you can, if you hold Control and drag outside here, it'll flip the masks so they're actually proper. There's this weird thing where if you don't do that, then if you try to sculpt, the faces are inverted or something, so it only sculpts on like the edge. Anyways, here are my little bricks popping out. Some of them are merged into others, which isn't really what I wanted, but whatever. So now we have this selected, so we can smooth it out a bit if we want, and we can apply a higher resolution stone wall texture. Just examples on what you could do. I'll give it a kind of a rocky texture to it, which is pretty cool. This isn't actually what a stone wall would look like, but you know, it's kind of getting there. And then we can do a lot more to it. Obviously, we could add noise modifiers to the original wall if we wanted to. I'm not sure how to do that. It was just suggested from someone. In geometry? No. Surface noise. There we go. There's some noise. So yeah, that's basically what I've learned. ZModeler is really cool for making shapes other than spheres and more non-organic things. And then we can add some color to this too. I can actually make this darker like I had in the image. Where are my subtools? There. So this is the wall. So I'm just going to set this at a... that'll work. Then we can select these brick things. We can make them lighter colored. And we can actually give them, we can go to color spray. Kind of give them a random color between two color values. So let's say between there and there. Just, why not? Oh, I don't want to add it. Okay. This is just a very rough, very bad example, I guess. Let's have a little bit more variation. Until we get something that we want. That's pretty cool and weird. Let's make this darker. Let's make it even darker. So yeah, I guess that could be kind of like mold, or fungus, or moss, or whatever. You could do some cool things with it. And then obviously this is still hidden because we hit it earlier with Control Shift. So if we could just, without Control Shift Alt, so if we Control Shift and just drag again, then it'll, that's not what I wanted. Control Shift and click, there we go. It'll show the other side of the wall that we haven't really touched yet.